Sturgis roars back to life as hundreds of thousands of bikers descend on tiny South Dakota town. There are few places in America where the sound of hundreds of thousands of motorcycles can become part of the landscape. But every August, the small South Dakota town of Sturgis undergoes a remarkable transformation. A community that is home to only a fraction of the people who descend upon it suddenly becomes the center of the motorcycle world as riders from across the United States and around the globe converge on the Black Hills for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. The 86th annual rally is taking place from August 7 through August 16, 2026. City officials have again put extensive traffic control measures, street closures, and parking restrictions in place as the town prepares to handle an enormous temporary population. And the transformation is already underway. Early arrivals have been filling downtown Sturgis, with motorcycles, vendors, and visitors turning Main Street into one of the most recognizable scenes in American motorcycle culture. Local businesses are preparing for what is traditionally one of the most important economic periods of the year. For residents, the rally means traffic, noise, and crowds. For riders, however, it represents something much bigger. It is a pilgrimage.
Adventure starts with the right gear, and it all starts at shackshop.us. From stylish women's swimsuits and premium camping tents to paddleboards, underwater drones, and dependable dinghies, we have everything you need for your next outdoor adventure. Whether you're exploring the water or relaxing on shore, gear up with quality products at unbeatable prices. Visit shackshop.us today and make every adventure.
From a small motorcycle event to an American institution, the Sturgis Rally traces its history back to 1938, when a group of Indian motorcycle riders organized an event centered around motorcycle racing and stunts. What began as a relatively small gathering eventually became one of the world's most famous motorcycle rallies. Over the decades, the event expanded far beyond racing. Today, Sturgis is a massive celebration of motorcycles, American highways, music, camping, riding culture, custom bikes, and the freedom associated with traveling on two wheels. The rally is no longer confined to the city limits. Riders spread throughout the Black Hills, taking advantage of some of the most spectacular motorcycle roads in the country. Routes through the Black Hills, including the roads around Deadwood, Spearfish, Custer, and the surrounding mountains, become packed with motorcycles. For many riders, the roads are just as important as the rally itself. The trip to Sturgis can involve thousands of miles of riding. Some arrive from neighboring states. Others travel from the East Coast, Florida, Texas, California, and Canada. Some even ship their motorcycles to South Dakota and fly in, allowing them to spend their time riding rather than making the long highway journey to the Black Hills. The result is an extraordinary annual migration. A tiny town with a giant population, perhaps the most remarkable part of Sturgis is the contrast between the size of the community and the scale of the event. Sturgis is a small South Dakota city. Yet during the rally, hundreds of thousands of visitors can pass through the area. Historically, attendance has hovered around the 500,000 mark in major years, with the rally's record attendance estimated at approximately 739,000 visitors in 2015. That means the event can temporarily create a population many times larger than the town itself. The logistical challenge is enormous. Roads have to handle an extraordinary number of motorcycles and other vehicles. Hotels, campgrounds, and vacation rentals fill rapidly. Restaurants, bars, convenience stores, repair shops, and motorcycle dealerships experience a surge in business. Temporary vendors appear throughout the region, and local law enforcement and emergency services have to prepare for a population that can change the character of the entire region for more than a week. The city has formally authorized special traffic and parking measures for the 2026 event because of the anticipated crowds. The money behind the motorcycles, the Sturgis Rally, isn't merely a motorcycle event. It is an enormous economic engine. A Texas A&M University economic impact study commissioned by the city of Sturgis found that the 2022 rally generated approximately $784.1 million in economic output across South Dakota ****. The study estimated that the rally supported approximately ***8,130 jobs and generated hundreds of millions of dollars in value added and labor income. It also estimated roughly $44.8 million in state and local tax collections associated with the economic activity. Those numbers help explain why the rally matters so much to businesses far beyond Sturgis. Visitors don't necessarily stay in Sturgis. They spread throughout the Black Hills and other parts of South Dakota. They buy gasoline. They eat at restaurants. They stay in hotels and campgrounds. They purchase motorcycle parts, clothing, souvenirs, and accessories. They visit attractions. They ride scenic highways. They stop at bars and entertainment venues. And they spend money in communities that might otherwise never see such a massive influx of tourists. The city has previously estimated that rally visitors spent hundreds of millions of dollars throughout South Dakota during the event. For many businesses, August is not simply another month. It can make or break the year. Main Street becomes a motorcycle showcase. One of the defining images of Sturgis is Main Street packed with motorcycles. Walking through downtown during the rally can feel like stepping into a massive outdoor motorcycle exhibition. Harleys dominate much of the traditional Sturgis image, but the modern rally is much broader than one manufacturer. Cruisers, touring motorcycles, custom builds, adventure bikes, trikes, and other machines can all be found among the crowds. The motorcycles themselves often become attractions. Some are heavily customized machines, representing thousands of dollars of work. Others are old-school bikes, restored to immaculate condition. Still others are everyday motorcycles that have carried their owners thousands of miles across the country. That diversity is part of what makes Sturgis unique. The rally isn't simply about owning an expensive motorcycle. It is about riding. The Black Hills are the real playground for many visitors. The biggest attraction isn't even downtown Sturgis. It's the surrounding Black Hills. The region provides an extraordinary backdrop for motorcycle riding, with winding mountain roads, dramatic rock formations, forests, and wide-open western scenery. Riders can spend hours away from the crowds before returning to the rally. Roads through the Black Hills have become legendary among motorcyclists. The experience is part of the Sturgis tradition. Start the morning with coffee, climb onto the motorcycle, disappear into the mountains, and return later to the roar of Main Street. For visitors who aren't motorcyclists, the region offers another attraction. The rally becomes an enormous spectacle. Even people who don't ride often travel to the Black Hills simply to see the motorcycles, experience the atmosphere, and visit surrounding attractions. Music, vendors, and entertainment. Modern Sturgis is much more than motorcycles. Music has become a major part of the event. Concerts and entertainment help transform the rally into a giant festival that continues long after sunset. Thousands of vendors compete for the attention of visitors. Motorcycle manufacturers, parts suppliers, clothing companies, custom builders, and independent businesses all use the event to reach customers. There are leather goods, riding equipment, motorcycle accessories, artwork, jewelry, helmets, tools, and virtually every kind of motorcycle-related merchandise imaginable. For entrepreneurs, Sturgis represents an opportunity to reach an audience that would otherwise be extremely difficult to assemble in one place. For visitors, the vendor areas can feel like an enormous shopping mall built specifically for motorcycle enthusiasts. A new generation of riders, despite the stereotypical image of the Sturgis rider. The motorcycle industry has been working to attract younger generations. That matters because the long-term future of the rally depends on replacing older riders with new ones. Research into rally tourism has indicated that organizers and tourism officials have increasingly focused on younger visitors. The goal is to make Sturgis more than a destination for long-time motorcycle enthusiasts. It needs to remain relevant to people discovering motorcycling for the first time. That means modern motorcycles, adventure riding, Social media, music, entertainment, and new forms of motorcycle culture increasingly coexist alongside the traditional Sturgis experience. The rally's enormous popularity provides an unusual opportunity to bring generations of riders together. A father can ride into Sturgis with his son. A longtime rider can show a younger motorcyclist the roads that made the Black Hills famous. And someone attending for the first time can experience the same sense of pilgrimage that has brought riders back for decades. The risks of the rally, of course. An event involving enormous numbers of motorcycles comes with risks. The roads around Sturgis can become extremely busy. Motorcycles are sharing highways with cars, trucks, RVs, and other visitors who may not be accustomed to the volume of two-wheeled traffic. Weather can also change rapidly in the Black Hills. Fatigue is another concern. A rider who has traveled hundreds or thousands of miles to reach South Dakota still has to deal with traffic, unfamiliar roads, and long days once arriving. The 2026 rally also began under tragic circumstances, with reports of fatal motorcycle crashes in the region immediately before the official start of the event. Those incidents serve as a grim reminder that the excitement surrounding Sturgis exists alongside the very real dangers of motorcycle travel. Safety remains one of the most important issues during an event of this size. Why people keep coming back, so why does someone ride 2,000 or 3,000 miles to spend several days in a small South Dakota town? For many riders, the answer is difficult to put into words. It is the road. It is the motorcycle. It is the people. It is the freedom. And it is the feeling of belonging to something much larger than yourself. Sturgis has become a gathering place for people who may have very different lives when they return home. But for a few days every August, they share the same highways, the same parking lots, the same concerts, and the same motorcycle culture. There is also something uniquely American about the journey. A motorcycle rally could be held almost anywhere. But Sturgis is surrounded by the vast landscapes of the American West. Getting there often means crossing state lines and spending days on the open road. The journey itself becomes part of the story. A town that changes for 10 days for Sturgis residents, the rally is an annual ritual. Businesses prepare. Roads are adjusted. Parking rules change. Temporary operations appear. Hotels and campgrounds fill. And the normal rhythm of the community gives way to 10 days of controlled chaos. Then, almost as quickly as it arrived, the motorcycle army begins to disappear. The roar fades. Traffic decreases. Visitors pack up their tents. Vendors begin dismantling their displays. Motorcycles head down highways in every direction. Sturgis becomes Sturgis again. But the economic impact remains. So do the memories. And eventually, preparations begin for the next rally. More than a motorcycle rally, calling Sturgis the world's largest motorcycle rally, doesn't fully explain what has happened in South Dakota. The event has become a cultural institution. It is part motorcycle show, part music festival, part road trip, and part pilgrimage. It has survived generations of changing motorcycle trends, economic challenges, and cultural shifts. And in 2026, the formula remains remarkably powerful. Hundreds of thousands of people are once again descending on a town that normally has no reason to expect such a massive population. They are arriving on motorcycles from across America and beyond. They are camping in the Black Hills. They are filling restaurants and hotels. They are buying motorcycle parts and souvenirs. They are listening to music. They are riding mountain roads. And they are creating the extraordinary annual spectacle known simply as Sturgis. For 10 days, a small South Dakota community becomes one of the loudest, busiest, and most recognizable motorcycle destinations on Earth. And when the engines finally quiet down, the town will return to normal. Until next August. Because for the motorcycle world, Sturgis isn't just a place. It's a tradition.